right, good afternoon, everyone. So it's Melissa here, and I am just coming back from taking a walk. I usually do a walk every day somewhere. I'm usually always active. I had already been at the pool today. So, just getting dressed for the day and being like, okay, what are my priorities today? So today, my son's birthday. Me and my husband's son, I should say, because no mother is a mother without their husband, right? So, when my husband and I had our son, I was pregnant with him, and um, I got Medicaid. I'm like, instead of going and working in a salon, which I could have, and I could have made a lot of money, being pregnant though, I was like, I'm not going to be able to really invest in a career. I didn't feel like being pregnant. I felt like I wanted, instead of focusing on my new career and learning more stuff, I wanted to invest, and I needed to. As someone who had, not a lot of skills with the development of a baby, first time mother, I'm like, it's really wise if you can stay home. So I did, and I took the Medicaid, and I rested, and I'm so glad that I did, because I might not have had my son without that, because my first birth, my placenta was separating. They had given me Pitocin. I went to OBGYN. This is how much I was in the dark with a forced abortion. I didn't even think twice about it, and I went back to the same place, not even thinking twice about what happened until it started coming out. So I was already at OBGYN. And then once I started understanding the truth, I started getting uncomfortable over there. And so what I did was I took the Medicaid and just like invested in myself to learn. And, if I didn't do that and rest, I probably might not have had him today. I think it's really important when women are pregnant to take it easy. And even when at one point we had a cat, and I was told, look, cats some can be very jealous of your baby. You want to be careful, if you have a bassinet or something, that the baby doesn't get suffocated, whatever. So I was glad to be able to stay home. And my husband and I, we played a lot of Mario when he was home. So I just got back from the store, and I just picked up like some of my son's childhood fun stuff. So my husband and I, we just hung out. We had plenty of time to just do nothing when I was pregnant. And so we were in Pennacook, on West Street, 1A West Street in Pennacook. And we had moved there from, where did we move from? Princeton Street. And then from Princeton Street, we had moved from Route 28. No, wait a minute. We had moved from, I think it was, Route 20, no, North State Street. North State Street. And then from there, we had gotten back home, and then our first apartment was Monroe. So it was Monroe when we moved out in Concord. Then it was, my husband just broke up with me because he felt like, what did he feel like? Like he was mad because we were having a hard time affording the place. So that was, I think, the second breakup. Yeah. And then I had the first one doesn't even count. He was just mad I was going to college. And that lasted like, I don't know, maybe a week or two. So then we went to, let me see, my aunt had then I was on Route 28 by myself. And then my Uncle Bill and Tina, his second wife, moved out of that place, so we had it. And that's where I got married, the housewarming party and everything. And then we moved from there. My Aunt Kim and Pat Caparello had their place on North State Street. That's where we had a cat. I was really trying to get pregnant. My husband had his Firebird. And I just didn't think I could get pregnant. So then we had moved to Princeton. I graduated from hairdressing school. And then we had moved on to 1A West Street. And like I said, my husband and I just, we watched TV, we we played Mario a lot. Not just Mario, Pac-Man. Sorry, Pac-Man. Pac-Man is like my favorite all-time video game. And I just love Pac-Man. I just grew up with it, and I just like at the arcades all the time. I go to Fun Spot all the time. I went to the arcades. I'm like, I gotta play Pac-Man. And then like this will be fun. This is like a bunch of questions on Mario, so this will be fun tonight for us to uh, do. And we just it was simple, easy times. And then when my husband would be working on his car, a lot of times I would go out there and hang out with him, and just talk to him. I'm trying to think. That was on West Street. Yeah, his friend Dave was right next door. And Dave was like, oh my goodness, you don't even look like, he's like, you don't even look pregnant. And then after, he's like, I think he said, you don't even look like you had a kid. So, I mean, I remember after having my son, all I did was like clean, clean, clean. And then the relatives came over. We had a video, I don't know where it is, of my little guy, and I was pretty protective. I was like, you guys should have called. I didn't say it, but I felt it. I was like, there was no phone call with like 5 or 6 of you coming over here. This was my mother-in-law and her sisters and Ben's grandmother. And I was really protective of my time. I wanted to make sure I bonded with him. And so, yeah, great memories. And that was 31 years ago today. So I absolutely appreciate my husband in the way that he has given me sons. So even though I have been very mad about him leaving, I mean, I've been like, what is the problem? What is the problem? Usually he knows, we talked about communication. And so I am grateful to my husband, this Father's Day birthday of my sons, that he did, God used him and he did give me sons. So I am very thankful for that. His sons all look like him. They look like him and they look like me. Beautiful sons. I have 5 beautiful sons. One went, I don't know what's going on with him. I'm not even going to mention him. But just, they all look like brothers. One of mine had the blonde hair when he was a baby. Goldilocks blonde hair. I mean, it just got lighter and lighter, and it was gorgeous. And I used to love to play with his hair and put my fingers through his hair when he was like a little kid. And just underneath is where all the blonde was. And his real blonde, and let me see, my husband's father was blonde when he was a kid, and my mother's father was blonde when he was a kid, and so was my Uncle Bill. And it's just, my grandmother was very dark, but my Uncle Bill had the blonde too. And so, I had them all 3 all at once. They're such a joy to me. And then my other 2 later on. And when the doctor said you probably can't have any more kids after my husband had testicular cancer, I mean, I cried. I wanted more kids. And we had 2 more, so miracles again. And, when we had the blonde one, sometimes people would play with me and say, what did you do? Sleep with the milkman? You got a blonde one here. And I'm like, no, his father, my father-in-law was blonde. And so, so this was a real special time. I think there was more bonding at that time with my son, because my parents and, his parents came over to see him. And we spent a lot of time with them. So, that was very valuable to me. That was very valuable. And the reason why last night I let my mother-in-law have it, and the reason why I did, is because she had hurt me really bad. I mean, I gave to them. And when you feel like you give and give and give and someone doesn't appreciate you, that is a difficult situation. I mean, I gave them grandkids, um, and they don't have any other grandkids. It's just the grandkids I gave them. And I gave them plenty of time. I mean, every time we went over to eat, and they did feed us, which I appreciated, they shared their pool with us. Tons of memories of going over to my husband's home and us enjoying the pool together, listening to like Van Halen and all the popular 80s music and swimming to it, and Donna had let me borrow one of the swimsuits. She had a basket of them so that when people came over to swim, they could use the bathing suits. And my husband loved this maroon one. She had this maroon one, and it was again like the Marilyn Monroe neck, and he absolutely went crazy when he saw that in me. He loved it. So we would, I saw a couple today in the pool, and I thought, oh, I think it's time to leave. They were an older couple, older than me, much older, gray, and they're still swimming together. And they were in the corner of the pool, kind of like in a way that was their back was to me, so no one could see them. And I think the husband was doing things in the pool that nobody could see with her. So I'm just like, I think I'm gonna leave now. But I remember that with my husband. I mean, we were all over each other, and we just absolutely could not get enough of each other. And we had the polarity, we had the attraction, we had like perfect match, like, a knife that cuts through butter. Boom. So we loved being together. I would go over there, wear his blue t-shirt, tie it in a cute knot at the bottom, and put on jeans and hang out with him. And uh, I would watch wrestling. I would hang out for hours and just do nothing. And we had built, like I said, really strong. And then when we had our son, we put like a little, purple handkerchief. I think Donna did. I think she put a purple handkerchief on him, and uh, just protected him. He was crying in the pool. Protected him. We had him. I think we had him on a float, and he was okay with that. Um, just so many good memories at their house. And the reason why I was so ticked off is because I, they really hurt me to come after me on social media. I mean, I was like, holy cow, they were like family to me, Just, I'm not going to cry. It's just, I'm thinking back. And I'm like, it's emotional a little bit. These are people that I sat with, and people I ate with, and people we willingly shared our life with. I mean, willingly. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to have them over at the hospital. I didn't have to have them, I didn't have to share my life with them at all. And, not that I put my eggs all in one basket, but I gave them a ton of time. I mean, there's tons of pictures of us over there. Um, and then when we had our second born, we just had so much fun over there. And we've got pictures of Rob, holding, I think it's, yeah, my second born. I think we've got a picture of their grandmother with my third son. So we got the grandparents in there, right? And we definitely let them grandparent. We definitely. I mean, I had even notes from my fourth son going to Grammy. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. I always made them say thank you notes to them. They took them shopping once in a while. They were not big on shopping. One of my sons went school shopping when I did put him into school for a short time, and I did not like him being in school. And then I had tried again because he wanted to go, I think seventh grade, and he didn't like it. But she took him shopping, and she's like, geez, he doesn't want anything, Melissa. He doesn't want anything. And he really, I brought my kids up not to have a whole lot in life. And there were so many memories, and they helped us. They helped us with they brought us a washer and dryer in the trailer. They co-signed for the trailer. What else did they do? I mean, they came over and they had help fix it up. We had a pipe that broke. We had a window on the porch that needed fixed. We had plastic on the windows that needed to be done. We didn't have a lot of money, and they were there to help us. And once I became a Christian, they had a hard time with some of the stuff. Just the changes maybe they saw in me. I don't know. But, the different views on money was an issue. But, it was just, I'm going to stay home. They didn't like that. I'm going to homeschool. They didn't like that. So I've had to put my foot down. And I think now that I have put my foot down pretty hard with the whole family, I think it is time to start building again. I think it's time to build if they want to build. I think, I had a video where I easily could have told my husband, you left us, you abandoned your sons. Now, why don't you get the heck out of our life and leave us alone? Um, Definitely could go that way. Definitely. I mean, my divorce is still going through, but how much better would it be to uh, turn around after putting your foot down and confronting? After social media, Carrie was after me last night again. Ooh, on social media, laughing because Leandro put something on Facebook about me. How much better to turn the other cheek and say, okay, guys, it's been a while. We haven't seen each other, me and my husband. There's plenty of tools out there to figure out how to work things out. And I think that would be the better way, because the two choices here, if we look at it, is one, we're never going to not talk, right? Because we have kids. There is always going to be something. So I am married to my husband, period. It's like an eternal thing. There's no getting out of it. Not for no fault. I mean, I didn't do anything. I don't think he did anything except abandon us. But I don't think he did anything other that cannot be fixed, is what I'm trying to say. And I think it's better in this case for everybody just to get along, just to get along. And I had put on Facebook with Donna that she meant nothing to me and she is dead to me, and I really put a lot of boundaries up with her. And we've got the choice of saying, okay, it's either going to be one way or the other. It's not going to be this up and down where you act like a friend and then you treat me like trash. It's not going to be that. Or we have living with some kind of suffering for the rest of our lives. I mean, I know my husband's not happy with me without me, even if he's not happy with me. I know he's not happy without me. And, the boys, they need him. And even if they're mad, they need him. And they only got one dad in life. That's something my mother would say. You only have one dad. And so this is a special time today to think about all the good memories. And although there were a lot of stuff that shouldn't have happened, to be able to turn this around with my husband and say, hey, I certainly can say to you, get the hell out of my life for what you did. But choosing instead to keep the door open and saying, you've got some choices here. If you are willing to fix what you broke, you are willing to straighten things out, I think you would have a good chance of doing that. So hopefully he calls my son or texts my son for his birthday. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.